Welcome to the Guild-Focused Learners. So, today we're embarking on an absolutely epic explainer journey. What if we actually stopped treating the Cambridge AS and A-level accounting syllabus, and specifically the notoriously tricky statement of changes in equity, what if we stopped treating it like just another boring textbook chapter, and instead looked at it as a legendary open-world map? Think about it. Every single syllabus point is a hidden treasure, and that highly coveted A-star grade, well, that's your ultimate loot drop. As your guild master, I'm here to tell you that the official Cambridge Principal Examiner reports are basically developer patch notes. They tell us exactly how this game is coded. So equip your best gear, check your inventory, and let's decode the mechanics of this realm together. Get ready to raid.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The absolute first thing we have to ask ourselves before stepping foot into any high-level dungeon is, why do so many players fail this specific level? I mean, you see it all the time on the message boards. Picture two types of players we constantly encounter in our guild. First, there's player one. Let's call him Alex. Now, Alex is your classic over-encumbered warrior. He carries way too much inventory weight. He packs his brain with raw facts, massive lists, and highly descriptive definitions, but he completely lacks the agility for high-level analysis. He just tanks the paper. Then, on the other extreme, you've got player two, Sam. Sam is a high-speed rogue. Sam dashes through the exam areas way too quickly, skipping mandatory puzzle requirements and completely missing the actual constraints of the command words. Both of these playstyles, they end up triggering massive traps and losing serious marks. So how do we avoid their fate?
Well, this quote right here brilliantly illustrates the baseline stats you need for this quest. The official examiners, the game developers themselves, explicitly state that top-performing students exhibit connected, conceptual understanding transferable to unfamiliar contexts. Notice they don't say students who memorize the most textbook pages. It's entirely about how you use what you know. The academic benchmarks for this specific topic require logical, structured reasoning. The entire assessment framework prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. So if you really want to survive the statement of changes in equity, you've got to upgrade your mindset from basic recall to top-tier mastery. You have to take core accounting principles and apply them to completely weird, unfamiliar scenarios that you've literally never seen before. All right. Here is your official quest log for today's explainer. We're going to start at the quest board, move into map decoding, learn how to disarm traps, face the dreaded boss level, and finally, claim your final marks. Let's kick things off with level 1, the quest board. Before we jump into combat, we absolutely have to understand the core cognitive domains the examiner demands. Looking at these objectives, your total score multiplier is broken down into 3 distinct slices. The first slice is knowledge and understanding. Think of this as your basic stats, your fundamental formulas, your baseline definitions. It's essential, sure, but it won't win the game alone. The second slice is analysis. This is your agility, your ability to interpret complex data, extract numbers from heavy text blocks and tables, and actually see the hidden relationships between them. And the final slice, evaluation. Successful candidates must demonstrate high-level competence across all 3 of these domains to maximize their loot. Listen, if you are only bringing basic knowledge to the fight, you are literally leaving 2/3 of your potential marks sitting on the table. You just can't afford that. So the foundational architecture of your gameplay has to rest on precise definitions and causal relationships. But I want to give you the ultimate cheat code, pulled directly from the principal examiner reports. Here it is. Candidates who explicitly reference cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks, period. Integrating your knowledge of the statement of changes in equity with other areas of the syllabus acts like a master key. It allows you to unlock those bizarre, unfamiliar contexts the examiners love to throw at you out of nowhere. When you open the paper and see a totally weird scenario, do not panic. Take a breath, look for the cross-topic connection, and the path to full marks will just naturally reveal itself. Moving right along to level 2, map decoding methodology. You have to realize that systematic processing within the statement of changes in equity follows a highly standardized sequence. Think of this as your unshakable 5-hit tactical combo. Step 1, identify the key elements from the provided texts and tables. Just sweep the area. Step 2, apply the relevant accounting principles. Step 3, and this is absolutely critical, execute your analysis with crystal clear working. Step 4, verify your results. Do a quick sanity check. And finally, Step 5, present it all in the appropriate demanded format. Following this exact procedural framework guarantees maximum efficiency. Look, in a real exam, your stamina bar is constantly draining as that clock ticks down. If you run headfirst into a complex question without this standardized combo sequence, you're going to burn through your stamina, panic, and totally freeze. Stick to the combo, Clear the sector methodically and protect your energy. And speaking of protecting your energy, let me share a brilliant hidden mechanic, the method mark strategy. This perfectly illustrates how Cambridge examiners actually want to reward you. In these really complex past paper problems, marks are heavily awarded simply for the process. What does that mean for you? It means that if you physically write out your clear workings and demonstrate the correct procedural processing, you can still farm massive points, even if a rogue calculator error completely messes up your final number. It's true. Your clear workings are literally your best defensive shield. So whatever you do, never drop your shield. Write out your steps. All right, things are getting intense. Welcome to Level 3, Disarming Examiner Traps. We need to adopt a highly tactical mindset here. The data from the examiners reveals that there are 3 specific, massive traps that students repeatedly trigger when dealing with limited company financial statements. Let's disarm them right now. Here is your official examiner alert. Trap number 1, using the wrong approach for the wrong context. Trap number 2, forgetting to check format and presentation conventions. And trap number 3, which is a real killer, providing answers that are not specific to the actual context given. If you ignore the specific command words, kind of like our rogue player Sam who just dashes right past the difference between the word analyze and the word evaluate, you activate an immediate high-damage trap. Your mark potential just evaporates. Let's actually visualize this. Imagine we are at the tactical table right now with our 2 players, trying to build an unshakable model response paragraph to clear this dungeon. Alex, our over-encumbered warrior, wants to just brute force the sector. He says, let's just drop a block of generic, memorized dictionary definitions. He honestly thinks throwing raw facts at the exam paper will win. But Sam, looking at the ticking clock, realizes their shared stamina meter is running dangerously low. Sam argues, no way, we have to pivot to an analytical pathway right now. And Sam is completely right. The high-tier strategy requires linking every single point directly to the given scenario. If the prompt gives you a specific limited company case study, your answer must seamlessly integrate their specific numbers and their unique business context. Quest pause. Before we unlock this top-band paragraph layout to help you conquer your next Cambridge exam, make sure your guild feed is perfectly optimized. Take a second right now to subscribe to AC Exams at the handle @AC and enable all notifications. You definitely don't want to miss our weekly strategic map drops, whether you're traversing IGCSE, O-levels, or AS and A-level territory. Okay, back to the raid. So Alex and Sam start writing, but suddenly, mid-paragraph, they hit an unexpected puzzle roadblock. Their evidence link just drops, and they are suddenly threatened with a total quest failure. This is where you, as a top-tier player, step in with the PEEL structure, point, evidence, explanation, link. You have to bridge your points flawlessly. Make the point, back it up with a specific number from the scenario, explain the accounting impact, and link it right back to the question. That is how you land a critical strike on the grading rubric. Get ready. We've reached Level 4, the boss level. Now, before you even think about stepping into the boss arena, your armor has to be perfectly forged. In the world of Cambridge accounting, that means strict, uncompromising adherence to presentation conventions. The examiners clearly note that practical application develops professional skills, and they absolutely demand structural precision. Treat this table like a required architectural blueprint. Your headings? They must be proper and accurate. Your terminology? You have to use correct, standard accounting terms, no slang. Your formats require the appropriate structural layout, and your annotation must feature clear, traceable workings. Honestly, if your layout is sloppy, the boss defeats you before you even get a chance to swing your sword. All right, to actually defeat this boss, you must unleash the highest order magic in the game, evaluative thinking. Top-scoring candidates evaluate alternatives and make heavily justified recommendations. This requires questioning the core assumptions, considering different perspectives from the case study, and justifying every single decision with hard evidence. Let's do a live diagnostic check, an interactive radar sweep. Imagine a highly complex source data graph just popped up on your screen. The 60-second visual countdown timer is ticking. Where do most players totally wipe out here? Look at that final bullet point. Identifying similarities and differences. When making a comparative analysis, almost everyone naturally lists the similarities. It's easy. But the absolute secret mechanic to clearing this boss is that you must use comparative connectives to highlight exactly how two approaches differ. You have to support each comparison with evidence and draw a firm conclusion. If you're looking at a defective, medium-tier sample student paragraph, spotting the flaw almost always comes down to finding the exact line where they forgot to highlight the differences. Don't make that mistake. And just like that, we arrive at Level 5, claiming your final marks. You've made it through the absolute hardest parts of the dungeon, so let's consolidate your loot. I want to distill this entire explainer into 3 universal rules for your next expedition. 1. Master the method. This is your pre-quest question scan.
decode the command runes, and secure those process marks with clear step-by-step workings. 2. Link the scenario. This is your stamina pacing matrix. Do not waste precious time writing out generic textbook answers. Link every single analytical point to the actual context provided. 3. Perfect the format. This is your post-quest review checklist. Are your headings accurate? Is your terminology fully professional? These 3 directives are your ultimate winning strategy. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to challenge your mindset. When you sit down and write your next statement of changes in equity, is it just going to be a boring grid of disconnected numbers, kind of like our over-encumbered warrior Alex would do? Or are you going to craft a fully justified, critical story that seamlessly links context, format, and evaluation to claim every single available mark? The choice is entirely yours. To make sure your cognitive stats stay maxed out, I need you to execute a final command right now. Subscribe to AC Exams at the handle @AC Exams. Click that notification bell so you never miss our weekly Level Up Masterclasses. And drop a comment below sharing exactly which Cambridge subject and level, whether that's IGCSE, O-Level, AS, or A-Level, you are preparing to conquer next. Good luck on your quest, and I'll see you in the next explainer.